Here, I'm trying to get, for example, I don't know, the Ministry of Justice in America, where they've got, HSBC on a deferred prosecution agreement, checking to make sure that HSBC aren't going to launder money to drug cartels anymore. They're coming to meet the CEO and the chairman. I might be the first or second person they meet, but I've got to be professional, serious, but warm enough for them to go, well, listen to what he has to say, right? Because whether you're in high-end corporate or you're doing, I don't know, customer service at Lidl, right?
Yeah.
The same rules apply, people by people.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. And so in comedy, the art becomes, I need the whole audience, whether there's 10 people in a room, or as there was after my first live at the Apollo performance in St. Albans, 4 people in a cinema room in St. Albans.
What? Sorry, say that again.
I did after my first live at the Apollo
Yeah.
live at the Apollo performance.
Yeah.
The next day I had a gig in St. Albans.
Yeah.
And there were 4 people in a cinema room of 30.
That's what we call a fall from grace.
Right. And the night before, I'd just done the Hammersmith Apollo.
Which is what, 5,500?
4,500.
4,000. Flipping out. That is the crazy thing. I think, like, obviously I want to ask you about your worst gig and all that stuff, but it's just like for comics, you just, when you're a musician, I feel like you kind of go through the levels, right?
Yeah.
When you're at arena level, you don't really come back down unless you want to, you want to do something private. But for comics, even, whoever the best comic in the UK currently is, they're still going to the smaller rooms, right? They're still kind of coming back down a level of audience, if that makes sense.
Yes, Ollie, we are. He said they, whoever they are. And he's got me on the podcast. Come on, bro. Who are they, Ollie?
I don't know, mate. I have no idea. You is what I wanted to say.
I'm the only one who was available.
Listen, you're the one that said you did 4 in St. Albans, you know what I mean? But tell me about, I want to know the worst gig in the early days, because there must be a great story there, or the toughest gig when you started out. Was there a gig that made you not want to do it anymore, ever?
There's never been a gig that's never made me not want to do comedy.
Right.
Because even in the gigs where I've died, my inclination afterwards has been, I need to come back and fix that, whenever that is.
Do you know why you've died when you've died? Do you know the moment? Sorry, flopped is probably a nicer word.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's comedy parlance, right?
That's right.
Yes, and I would say that nowadays, I am a lot more confident at calling out the death on stage.
Really?
Oh, I do it all the time. Like, if it's happening, I will say something like, "Oh, you're not enjoying this at all. We need to do something else." And usually it saves the gig.
It also makes it better as well.
Yeah.
In a way you lift up.
That's experience.
Yeah.
But when you first start out, you go, I've got 6 minutes. And I'm going to say those 6 minutes. And if you laugh, you laugh. And if you don't, I'm just going to get in the car and drive and think about it. So in the early days, the identification, and I think this applies to business or whatever.
Yep.
The more knowledge you get over time, the more precise you can become with what the failure might be.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do.
You have a larger pool of knowledge.
Yeah.
So in the early days, I probably thought I was dying for a particular reason, but in hindsight, you go, actually, it would have been this.
Yeah.
And I would say this, and this is going to sound really arrogant, 98% of the time, it's the audience's fault.
Interesting. Why?
Because they aren't warm. They haven't quite understood what the exchange is.
As in they haven't been warmed up.
Yeah, they haven't warmed up properly, or this is just not something that they want, or they expect something else.
Yeah.
And comedy differs from music in that sense, where a couple of things. One, with musicians, we're tapped into the rhythm of when they finish a song, we clap. Even if the song's shit.
And we know the words.
And we know the words. That's the second bit, right?
Yeah.
Is more often than not, you see a musician that you like, or they do something, they can do a cover.
Yeah.
They can do a cover before they do an original.
Yeah.
Right? I can't go on, but I'm going, It's not going to work. They're going to, why are you doing that bit? So the reasons why I've not been as successful or failed at a gig, in my opinion, I've got better identifying what those are.
Right.
And the things that, but there's also the only time I've done a gig where, not that I've not wanted to do this anymore, but not wanted to go back, is I did a gig in King's Lynn. And if any of your viewers are watching from King's Lynn, I have this message: fuck King's Lynn. Like and subscribe.
Why King's Lynn? There's a story there.
Right. So this particular gig.
Do you know what? You're the first person to fuck a country or a county on this podcast. Fair. Anyway, we're breaking barriers in 2026. I like it.
This is the rebirth that we came for.
Yeah, I'm here. Alienate King's Lynn. That was exactly what we decided. Yeah. Let's get Eshaan on. Let's fuck off King's Lynn.
On the metadata, just delete King's Lynn.
They're gone. We're going to be up. Yeah, there's going to be a story here.
What happened was, I at this point, so in comedy, you start off doing open mic and they're kind of 5 to 7 minute sets, right?
Is that? I thought it was longer than that. Is that what you get?
Yeah, when you first start out.
Fine.
And then as you progress, you get to do what's known as open spots.
Right.
And the open spots are in the middle section of a comedy night,
Okay.
where there might be 4 comics and two of them might be middle spots or open spots.
Okay.
And those open spots are paid anything from expenses to 50 quid, maybe even 100 quid if you're lucky.
Wow.
Right. So at the time I was an open spot and I had just put together my first 10-minute set. Right. And I go to King's Lynn, and this is in 2016.
So you're like 2-ish years in.
Yeah, 2-ish years in. I'm in King's Lynn, and the backdrop you need to this is the country is having a big debate about Brexit.
Of course. Yeah. God, that was 10 years ago. That's mental.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
Mental.
It's crazy. So I got on stage, and as soon as I stepped on stage, 10 lads got up and started walking out immediately. And I was like, oh, lads, where are you going? You know, you all going for a piss at the same time? You know, something, whatever I can think of. And one of them turned around and said, we don't want to hear what a P word has to say. And by the way, he didn't say P word.
Yeah.
He said the word, right? And I've only got 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's that kind of gig. Carry on with my set. They leave. It was so out of pocket.
Yeah.
I was like, right, I'm just going to do my set. So I'm doing the set. I got maybe 2 laughs. And you know when I said like 98% of the time it's the audience's fault? This is one of those situations where the audience just, they didn't want me there.